Welcome everyone to Silmarillion Total War, a mod based on the first age of Tolkien's works. And here we have a 2v2 field, I believe, on the shores of Forfalas. Starting off with the blue team, we have Panthan of Barsoom as the Dominion of Tolan Garhoth, the faction of Sauron and werewolves. Here we have two units of the Hishbograz Hunters. This is Toll's only archer unit. They do have an incendiary projectile which can cut above its weight on a ranged battle, so it's generally good to bring this unit. And you can bring either a full unit or a detachment. Behind them, we have the Hishbograz Howlers, a light infantry chaff unit for Toll. They are a two-handed axe unit that can hide in wooded terrain. They also have a war cry ability, which can keep them in combat longer. Behind them, we have the Hishbograz Wolfguard, which are a Mason board unit. This is a good unit to bring when you're facing heavily armored factions, or just to provide a sturdy front line for your army. Behind them, we have the Luxcares Gukaleb, which are a medium cavalry unit. This unit isn't going to win battles on its own, but it does provide good cavalry numbers and the ability to just swarm your opponents. Behind them, we have the Hishbograz Ash Priests. They're technically classified as a light infantry unit, however they are extremely damaging with their two-handed axes. And they do have a Nephitune projectile which can cause morale shocks. See, on his left flank, looks like we got multiple units of the Hishbograz Gukaleb, which are a combination Jav and Javelin cavalry unit. These guys aren't much to talk about in terms of melee. However, they do provide a ranged punch as their Javs are armor piercing. Behind them, we have two more units of the Hishbograz Howlers. And in front of them, we have the Gishgaraz Chosen, which are a heavy spear unit. On the right flank of Panthan's army, it looks like we have another unit, the Hishbograz Gukaleb. And then the celebrity himself hidden in the woods here, we have Sauron, Lord of Wolves. This guy is technically classified as a heavy cavalry unit, and he does have a incendiary projectile unit. However, in bringing this guy, he's extremely expensive, so it's a high-risk, high-reward strategy. And his projectile is highly unreliable, so it could cause extreme damage to your army or the enemy army. You'll never be able to tell. Next to him, we have Hyperius as the Guarded Realm of Doriath. Now, this is probably the most well-rounded faction in the game in terms of unit interchangeability. Here we have 4 units, it looks like, of the Wardens of the Girdle, a light infantry archer unit that can provide you a secondary front line with their elven skill once they run out of arrows. Looks like behind them we have 4 units of the Axemen of the Girdle, which are a light infantry axe throwing unit. And it looks like mixed in with them we have the Donathan Moblong. Now this is the scariest unit that Doriath can bring to the field. They're a two-handed mace unit, very good for destroying monsters or elite infantry. Behind them we've got stretched out here 1, 2, 3 units of Warriors of Region, which are a two-handed axe unit, extremely damaging on the charge, but very vulnerable to arrows. Behind them we have 2 units of the Rangers of the Girdle. This is a poison projectile unit, good for damaging morale. Behind them we have the Tieran Lasdanan, a axe-throwing unit with special projectiles, especially good for targeting elites. Across from Hyper, on the red team, we have Avari under Captain Gervais. Now, Avari are a ambush faction. They don't have a lot of units that can do a mainline engagement and a grinding fight. A lot of their special units, especially the ranged units, are based on the Ents, or the wild walking trees. Here we have the Thorncasters. These are a relatively heavily armored slinger unit that provides armor-piercing projectiles. Behind them we have the Mosstalkers of the Darkling Wood, which are Avari's only archer unit. And then next to them we have the Thorncasters of another unit of them. Beside them we have Avari's heaviest infantry unit, the Shades of the Guarded Path. This is a axe and board unit. They'll provide a lot of the damage for Avari, at least on a frontline engagement. Over here we have the Thorned Ancients, the tankiest unit in Avari. These are the wild trees that took on the Isengard during Helm's Deep after that, if you know the books. Now, the Thorned Ancients have multiple armor upgrades, and they are classified as heavy infantry, so you can take these guys down with cav charges or javelins, but they are extremely tanky and you can hunt down light infantry. Next to them we have the Stonehewers, which are a light axe and board unit. I believe they can hide in wooded terrain. Over here we have the Bow Wards. This is Avari's mainline spear unit. These guys will provide a lot of stability for your front line and are able to take a lot of damage, even regarding their tree bark armor here. Next to them we have more Mosstalkers, and I'm sure there's more hidden units that we'll see later in the battle. Next to him we have Tundris with the ultimate meme army of Nan Dungortheb. Now, Nan, a lot of their infantry is trash. A lot of their damaging quality comes in their monstrous units. So here we have the Flesh Terrors, a light infantry unit. They only have 1 damage, so you'll need to back these guys up with other units. However, they do provide some much needed numbers. Behind them we have the Karingwi Blood Gorgers, which are a heavy cav unit. Looks like his general's in that unit. They are a very tanky cavalry unit. However, they do lack speed, so you want to keep them close. Next to them we have the Devourers of Children, a troll type unit with fragile morale and light armor, or essentially no armor. Behind them we have the Karingwi Broodmothers, which are this unit kind of reminds me of the Indian War Elephants in that you have orcs riding them with jabs. These are a very expensive but very elite heavy cavalry unit. It will take a lot of jabs or heavy damage units to take them down. And it looks like he's got a unit of, yes, hunting pack over here. This is another cav unit, light cavalry dogs. They can cause a lot of damage on the charge, but they're very exposed to ranged units. Without further ado, we'll start the battle. So it looks like Tundra has purposely left this unit out, perhaps to draw some of Panthan's cavalry out. We'll see if he takes the bait. Looks like he is going to bring a little expeditionary force of these missile cav just to explore. Beside him, looks like Hyperius is hanging out for now. Possibly just going to, because Avari has so many hidden units, he's going to want to take his time on the approach. Looks like Rex isn't going to sit back though with his Thorned Ancients. Maybe get a quick in and out charge. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, he's going to hit him while he's on the move, which is a very good move. It's not easy to reposition an army very quickly. We'll check on the... looks like we've already got a cavalry battle over here. Oh, yes. Looks like he was able to take down a few dogs, but it looks like the wargs suffered the most from that encounter. Here we have some hidden units of Karingwi Hunters, which are a archer cav unit. Like their heavy cavalry brethren, they are slow, but they are very tanky, and they're going to be able to tank any damage that these missile cav can give. Well, it looks like Panthan has stopped, and a lot of these wargs get shot in the back. But it looks like he's mainly focusing on the dogs and this unit of hunters here as he moves up. Okay, it looks like we're going to have a ranged cavalry battle here. Looks like, yeah. Is he gonna? It looks like he's gonna try to take down this unit of hunters. We'll see. Going back over here, we'll see how much damage the trees did. Looks like he's lost some trees. Yeah, it looks like, oh, or the Outriders, yeah. We've got a hidden unit of Outriders here. Now this unit of Lancers is able to hide anywhere. Good ambush unit for Doriath. Let's see here. Looks like a few of the trees got left behind, yeah, taken down by those heavy axes. I wouldn't say that's a good trade with a few wardens versus those very valuable trees. Although it looks like Panthan's trade hasn't been much better with his wargs. Almost an entire unit of those skirmishing wargs down with not too many spiders down. Yeah, there's a few. Although he has managed to stop a unit of dogs. Although we just saw maybe a couple units hiding over here. Now on their own, they won't be able to finish off the dogs, but maybe they can cause some damage. Take down that HP a little bit. Looks like Tundras is going to just steadily close the gap. Go after that missile cav. We'll check back over here. Looks like it's just a steady progressive march from Hyperius as Rex continues to harass him with these trees. If those Outriders come back, they'll be able to get a good charge on them. Let's see, what is he going to go for? No. Maybe go for the Wardens? Nah, he's going to think better of it. See, coming back over here. Yeah, it looks like all the cavalry units are engaged. Yeah, it looks like a majority of these wargs are going to get finished off. The only way I think this will be a fair trade is if the Karingwi run out of ammo, but even then, that's a lot of wargs dead for not much in return. Well, a whole unit broken. They may come back, but if they run into those Devourers, they probably won't. Looks like Panthan's moving up, realizing that the cavalry battle's not going his way. He may just decide to get up front and close. Yeah, here we have the incendiary projectiles I was talking about. They're going to cause a lot of damage to these essentially unarmored infantry. We have another hidden unit, the Gore Swarm. These are essentially spearmen. Even though technically they're beetles, they're classified as spearmen. Looks like he's going to hunt down that cavalry, make sure it doesn't come back. See, do we have any engagements here? No, Hyperius is still just taking his time. No need to hurry. Looks like that unit did stop, so it may come back. We'll see. Oh, looks like he spotted Sauron. He's going to go straight for them with the Devours of Children. Although I think Sauron just launched his patented projectile. Yeah, as you can see, it's going in the middle of nowhere. Not able to land a hit. And this is going to be a battle of the Titans here, because although with that armor-piercing support, that may give Sauron the edge he needs, but we'll see what he can do. He should be able to finish off most of this unit just by himself. With a great swing of that mace, each Devourer should go down. Yeah, there go. Slowly going down. Let's check out the rest of the fight. Yeah, it looks like a proper frontline engagement. We have the Wolf Guard leading the way. Looks like some Howlers have gotten in with the light infantry. And the rest of the wargs have been taken care of, but the problem with having so much of this spider cav, it's not very damaging. Especially with some of these heavily armored units, the front line of Non may crumble before the cavalry can get rear charges. And it looks like the Karingwi are in the middle front line with these Wolf Guard, shooting jabs as they go. And it looks like, let's check back over here. Oh no, the Ash Priests have gotten involved, so looks like Sauron is down, but he took most of those Devourers with him, which means a lot of damage for Non is gone now. The only major damage dealers besides the Brood Mothers would be those Wolf Guard, or the Hounds. Looks like we got a frontline engagement now. We've got some Wardens of the Girdle being attacked by trees, supported by the Moss Stalkers. Over here, it looks like he's taking his time now, using his axemen to grind down those stone hewers and spears, combined with the Wardens. So far, it looks like this flank is unharassed, but that should change in time. Hasn't revealed his Outriders yet. We'll stay here a little bit as the the Stone Hewers go up against the Warriors of Region. Yeah, the Warriors are going to love that fight against the trees, especially with the Doneth joining them. Looks like Rex is going to be able to pull it out on the flanks, but he's going to be struggling in that front line unless he's got some hidden units he can bring out. He's just going to try to flank and get some attacks on these axemen. Going over to the battle over here, it looks like... Yeah, it looks like Panthan's going to be able to bring it out just through sheer might of his infantry, wearing down the chaff of Non, and then the Devourers haven't been taken care of in the back. Although with all this cav, Tundra may be able to just pin him in place or support his ally. See, are there any more units back here? Does not look like it. Looks like, yeah, he's going to flank on this side, shut down those ranged units. Ah, here's a unit we didn't see before, the Rangers. Now this is a jab unit, very effective for taking down, like he's doing here, units like the Warriors or the Doneth. Avari tends to rely on the Rangers as their main damage dealers, especially if you can attack an enemy from the rear. But Avari's just not going to be able to match the ranged power of Doriath or the damage of its front line. Not getting the ambush it needed. Here we have the Terraslanen using their special axe projectiles on the trees. We'll see if we can get a look at that and see what it looks like. You'll see a special green trail as they're unloaded. Looks like not right now. Yeah, unless Rex can handily win on the flanks, it looks like Doriath's going to have that. Over here, it's just a mosh pit. As Panthan looks like he's focusing on the Brood Mothers. Looks like Tundra's cavalry unit got trapped, and so his general dies. It looks like most of the ammo from the Karingui hunters got used on the wargs, so that's a win at least. He won't be able to just surround and shoot these units to death. So it looks like he's going to trail off what he can and go support his ally. But yeah, even though with the loss of all those wargs, you'll see that Panthan brings it out. And that just shows the weakness of Non in that it's a high-risk faction. It also shows the just power of some of these Toll units, especially the Ash Priest and the Wolf Guard. Over here, oh, it looks like Rex's general just died. As Doriath continues to just grind through Avari. Looks like the combat has gone all the way into the back lines here. Looks like Rex is going to pull it out at least on some of these units that got overexposed back here. But yeah, unless Rex has some extreme hidden units that we're not seeing, I doubt he's going to be able to pull it off. He'll do what damage he can with these constant retreats and skirmishes. Checking back here, looks like it was just mutual destruction here. Not much left of both armies. Looks like Panthan's got some Wolf Guard, some Ash Priest, some Howlers. Giscar has chosen, so what little he has left is extremely damaging of high quality, so he'll be able to help finish off Rex. Ooh, looks like here's another unit we didn't see. The Branch Stalkers, the Green Sea. These are a assassin class unit. They're able to hide, I believe, anywhere, and they can throw a Napatoon projectile that can basically blanket the field in fog, and also stagger any units caught in the fog. Very good for ambushing. However, it looks like Doriath's just going to be able to ignore that and just chase his units. Looks like he's got some units still back here. It'll be good if this unit still has ammo, but just with sheer quality he's going to have to face. So yeah, are there any units left from Tundris over here? Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like just some fleeing units. Some Karingui just hanging out. Possibly just trying to stop Panthan and maybe bring down some of these scattered units as he continues to march towards his ally. See, we've got a pretty healthy unit of Rangers here. As I was talking about earlier, these Battle Wards have stayed the entire fight, even against these heavily damaging units, as have the Thorn Ancients. Oh, there we are. There's the Outriders. Something else Avari is very vulnerable to is a heavy cavalry focused army. They don't have many anti-cavalry units besides maybe the Rangers and these Thorncasters. Yeah, it looks like Doriath has prevailed, and so has Toll. Good news for the blue army here, or blue team. Oh my gosh, 2 other units of Outriders. Kept in the back just in case. Ooh, still had some ammo, that's good. As these Rangers continue to just make this painful for Doriath. Oh, and in revenge, there goes Doriath's general. Rex will not go out without a fight, will not go down without taking the general with him. So here we have a good showcase of the power of Doriath just as a attritional faction able to just wear down your enemy, especially if you can control the engagements with ranged power and cavalry. Rex just wasn't able to get the ambush he needed. Oh, this is a unit I missed throughout the battle. I'm sorry about that. These are the Gloom Hunters. This unit is able to hide anywhere, and it is technically classified as a light infantry unit. These glaives are a good anti-cav unit, but they are extremely vulnerable to ranged damage, as a lot of Avari are. Looks like I'll go ahead and ×2 it here, just as they continue to mop up. And here we have a player's admitted defeat. And here we are. I thank you all for watching, and we hope you join the mod and come play with us. I'll be delivering more replays, both sieges and field. You have a good day.